Hey there, I'm Mr. Business Plan. Every day I crunch numbers and build presentations to explore potential investments across the globe. And this is you. You have some real money trouble. The allowance your parents give you is just not enough. How can they expect a growing child to suffice with only $10 a week? You're 9. You have responsibilities. Liabilities you must pay for. You owe little Timmy alone $200 for the shiny rock he gave you. But you gotta understand me here. It wasn't only the fact that the rock was shiny. Everyone in the class wanted it. You would have been the coolest kid if you had it. The competition was intense for the rock. You had to outbid the other kids. And you won. By a landslide. It was a closed auction. The closest bid to yours was $30. Doesn't matter. It was money well spent. But I don't think your mother is gonna see eye to eye with you on this one. While you did think little Timmy would eventually forget about your crippling debt, eventually his patience ran low. He cornered you at the playground. When you tell him you only have $5 on you, he proposed a solution. You're going to have to work to pay off your debt, he said. He mentions he's running a lemonade stand in the neighborhood. Nothing too fancy, but enough to get the job done. Little Timmy says he will rent the stall to you for $10 during weekdays and $20 during the weekend. This way you can pay off your debt quickly. You're surprised by how reasonable little Timmy has acted during this time. He did seem quite intimidating. He did mention that he might break your kneecaps if you don't pay on time. But that's nothing to worry about, right? I mean, the numbers he's saying seems quite achievable, honestly. How difficult could running a lemonade stand be? You just need to find the price for the lemonade, sell it to a lot of pedestrians passing by. You need to buy the lemonade or the lemons themselves, add sugar. You need to cater to different target clients, match the exact sugar to lemonade ratio, and you begin to panic. You're not ready for this. You've never sold anything in your life. You can't mention this to your parents. They don't know you're so deep in debt. They'll make your mother miserable. They wouldn't understand. They had to already bail you out of $50 when you were 7. Those $50 were well spent. Let me just say that. The bottle caps you got, they're gonna be worth a fortune one day. During your quite obvious panic attack, you see me, Mr. Business Plan, walking down the street. As a man literally made of money, you think I might be the solution to your problems. You rush towards me and ask me about the predicament you found yourself in. You mention you have to operate a lemonade stand to pay off your debt. Oh, say no more. It's a good thing I have my computer with me. Worry not, kid. We're gonna figure this out together. Let me just do the modeling and I'll be with you shortly. You don't necessarily grasp the concept of what I was doing. I was just this weird adult man who was doing something on his computer. But regardless, you sat down and waited for me to finish. Building a lemonade stand is quite a unique business, as it is essentially one of the first steps for an aspiring entrepreneur to one day build their own empire. It operates on high profit margins, and the clientele are usually willing to pay you a price premium. The pleasures of being a child. If you're an aspiring young entrepreneur, of course, not when you're at your 30s and looking for some quick change. This financial model that we have developed is highly dependent on the daily cash flows, as you don't really have the financial means to cover any cash deficits. Well, you are 9 years old after all. In this scenario, we're an aspiring business owner that has to tackle rent at the same time. Our business must feed our stall owner first before it can feed us. Luckily, unlike real life, you only need to sustain the business until you can pay off your $200 debt. And based on the agreement you've made with little Timmy, that's going to take you around 16 days. If there is a possibility for there to be money left after paying rent, then why doesn't the owner directly operate the property or facility? Well, either they lack the know-how or they lack the time. Unbeknownst to you, little Timmy has a growing network of lemonade stalls, all operating with similar rental structures to yours. He can't be everywhere at the same time, so it's logical for him to rent them out. In addition, if there is a possibility that the business is unprofitable, little Timmy just has to break some knees to get his rent and doesn't have to do anything else. Our business is a location-focused enterprise. Profitability is dependent on the number of people passing by the street who will be willing to try out your product. For us to be able to estimate sales, first we need to estimate how many people will be passing by. There are 2 potential ways we can calculate this. Number 1, we just straight out begin counting the number of pedestrians for the whole shift you are planning. While principally it would be the best method, we don't really have time to just sit here and count people, right? I am a businessman. I have stuff to do, kid. Important meetings and whatnot. You'll understand it when you're older. The second option is to count the number of pedestrians for a single minute or several. Multiply that by the hour and we estimate the total number of hourly pedestrians. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, it seems there are 3 people on average passing by this street per minute. That's really good. That would give us an average of 180 pedestrians per hour. If you were to work for 3 hours each day, that's 540 potential customers. If we get 5% of them to buy our lemonade, that is a total of 27 daily sales during the weekdays. It's pretty sweet, honestly. I bet with the increasing foot traffic and longer working hours that you have to endure during the weekends, we can push that up all the way to 90 or so. Now let's get to the pricing. I am targeting to reach around 75 cents per each cup of lemonade, but there is potential to negotiate different prices based on the customer you're talking to. Is it a predatory business practice? Well, it depends on who you're asking, right? Yes, but you're also 9. So I don't think regulators will be very harsh on your business. At least I would hope so. We should target higher prices during the weekends, as there might be higher demand during that time. Let's say $1, that seems fair. Because we can only cater to so many customers at the same time. If you keep prices low, it's very possible that you're going to be overwhelmed with the increasing amount of demand. Now, assuming we keep the payment schedule you agreed with little Timmy, you should be able to pay off your debt in the planned 16-day period. This is assuming a cost per cup of around 30 cents, by the way. Based on our assumptions, you're going to have an additional $200 in your pocket by the time you're done. That's pretty sweet. Now, there are a few things you need to consider that you probably won't see in the financial model. Number 1, your lemonade stand might be illegal. Yes, certain states and countries may frown upon you setting up a lemonade stand without the necessary permits. So be sure to look up the necessary regulative structure in your region. Number 2, while the estimation method for the number of pedestrians is commonly practiced, it may not account for momentary volatilities in the number of people. You will likely get the most accurate foot traffic calculations after you started your business. And lastly, the success of a lemonade stand is entirely dependent on the captain of its ship, so that's you. You need to be approachable to the customer, polite and likable. You don't want to feel like you're only in it for the money. You're not, right? How did you even accumulate $200 of debt, by the way? You know what? No matter. It's none of my business. Now, taking all of this into consideration, let's get to the rating. The addressable market of the lemonade stand product is literally all human beings who have some semblance of interest to sugar and lemonade. There will be demand, especially during hotter seasons, although this product is not something directly searched from by customers. It's likely the lemonade stand market has decreased over the past years following greater access to distractions for the younger populace. I give market opportunity 6.0 out of 10. The business can provide diversified offerings to include cookies and many other items in the future. It's cost-effective and profitable, though there might be need to manage cash during the initial setup stages of the business. I give viability of the business model 7.0 out of 10. There is limited room for the business to scale on a local branch level, potentially only through the offering of new products. Theoretically, it is possible for other stands to be established in new regions. However, the unavailability of manpower willing to work for low wages makes growth impossible. I give scalability of the business 3.0 out of 10. There are no barriers of entry to the lemonade business. Well, other than being below a certain age. I'm not saying there aren't adult lemonade stands, but they aren't in the same market niche, let's say. The business is tremendously replicable, and our business in particular will not have any significant competitive advantages over the others. I give replicability 1.3 out of 10. The product has no disruptive capabilities compared to the current market. Established market players, let's call them the Big Lemon, could easily replicate anything you produce. I give disruption potential 2.0 out of 10. Taking all of this into consideration, our final score is 3.9 out of 10. Following my extensive analytical study, you ask me if you can borrow $200 from me. I sigh, knowing deep within that all of my detailed assessments were for nothing once more. I hand you $300 and ask you to save the rest. I don't think you've learned anything, but you do seem happy. Good for you. Also, I can rest easy knowing little Timmy won't be breaking any kneecaps today. Let me know what you think of this business idea and my assessment in the comments. Consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next video.